Hey everybody, I'm Joe Garagiola. Alongside me is Tony Kubek as always, as we get set to describe the action of this game. Gura for the Royals, and it'll be Tommy John for the New York Yankees. And Tony, I found talking to the Yankees, they seem to be not happy or complacent, but with all the injuries and Gossage and Jackson out of there, not too bad off where they're sitting right now.
And Kansas City kind of happy, too. Whitey Herzog has done an outstanding job. His pitching has not been good. A lot of stars in the ballgame today, but, folks, if you have not yet heard the name, mark it down. A future superstar with a question mark at this point, Willie Wilson, hitting at .353. Some say he might be the fastest man in all of baseball. Turned down 200 major college scholarships for football and basketball. He's got 25 stolen bases, a chance to be a superstar.
And he'll run if he gets on today. So there's the scene set. Gura against John. Look for Willie Wilson, and we'll be back with our game of the week right after these messages.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where's that husband of yours?
Okay, watch your back. Coming through.
Is that all you carried up?
Is that all? This is Lowenbrow.
So what are we celebrating?
This is the second year we're sharing this house. I didn't think we'd make it through the second week.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Yeah, I shouldn't say this, because you might think I'm serious. But here's to good friends.
Excuse me, sir. Do you know that peanuts can make your face feel better?
Peanuts?
Here, try some.
What's that?
Track 2, the only leading shave cream with peanut oil.
Peanut oil and a shave cream? Hey, it feels creamier.
That's because peanut oil is one of the best moisturizers you can use on your face.
It feels good.
That's track 2, moisturizing your beard so you get a bitter feeling shave. Excuse me. Oh, I did you already.
Track 2, made from peanuts for a better feeling shave.
Who offers more kinds of tires than Goodyear?
Nobody.
Who sells more tires than Goodyear? Nobody. Who has more values than Goodyear? Nobody. Especially now, while Goodyear's offering super summer savings on the custom polystyrene radial. We put over 20 million of these gas savers on the road in just 4 years. Now we're putting them on sale till June 16th. Now that's value. Okay, who satisfies more than Goodyear?
Nobody.
Nobody offers more than Goodyear.
On Sports World, top women gymnasts compete in the USGF Nationals. Then it's Friendship Cup weightlifting, plus the 200th running of the English Derby, and the fittest of them all, tomorrow.
Well, the ground crew, there you see George Tome in the yellow shirt and his crew behind the tarp. Larry Barnett just asked him to get behind it. They're getting ready for the rain. He's a stickler about this. He said at 1:15, but so far, the weatherman has missed by a little bit. The Kansas City Royals have taken the field. There's Larry Gura. Here's the way the Yankees will line up. Mickey River, the catalyst, will lead off in center field for the Yankees. Willie Randolph is at second base. Batting third, Munson. Munson will be behind the plate. In right field in the cleanup spot, Lou Piniella. At third base, Greg Nettles. Nettles hit a big home run in the 10th inning to win a ball game, and what a game they had here last night. The designated hitter is Darrell Jones. Jones, the designated hitter. Chambliss is at first base. Roy White is in left field. And Bucky Dent is the shortstop. And Tony, there's some speculation as far as the Yankees are concerned in that lineup as we look at the Kansas City defense. We'll get into that in a minute.
All right, there's the defense. The man in left field with all the speed, Willie Wilson. Amos Otis in center field. Al Cowens in right. Todd Cruz with a good glove at third base. Patek playing well the last 3 weeks at short. UL Washington at second. Brett is moved to first base today. John Wathan catching. And Larry Gura is the pitcher. Gura with an outstanding start. His last outing against the Yankees back in New York. Best outing in the last year.
So here's the first pitch, and let's see if Rivers takes a home run swing. He'll shorten up as if to bunt and takes it high. Ball one. Mickey Rivers. Hitting .285, 3 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Rivers, he's the catalyst. He makes it go. Ball 2. When he plays, he usually hits, and the Yankees usually win.
And Herzog is hoping that he's got the same kind of man leading off for his lineup as Mickey Rivers, and that's Willie Wilson, who's been on the tear.
Backhand play by Washington. They get him.
Herzog playing a defensive unit today with Gura. He will throw a lot of ground balls. UL Washington going far to his right.
The field is slick, artificial surface. It rained overnight. It rained sometimes during the game yesterday, so the ball will really scoot. Was it Sam Jones? The toothpick in the mouth? UL Washington's got one cocked in the corner of his mouth.
Here is Willie Randolph.
Look at it.
High and tight. Ball one. Randolph hitting .257. No home runs. 19 runs batted in. Curveball is a strike. Behind the plate is Ted Hendry. Fred Spence at first base. Larry Barnett's at second. Jim Evans is at third. 3 and 5 for Gura. That complete game that you saw was against the Yankees. It was a 3-1 victory. He beat Luis Tiant it was Tuesday night. Allowed only an unearned run. 3 hits, 2 walks, struck out 3. His best start of the season. Right.
When you got two pitchers like Gura and John facing each other, the chances are, if they stay around a while, you might get a quick game. They're around the plate. You'd better hit your way out. You'll see a lot of ground balls.
There's another one.
Watch this arm. They're raving about Todd Cruz. He's a shortstop, but they got him from the Phillies. Bird went over to the Phillies, and he has some kind of arm. Did you see him showing it off in infield practice, Joe?
Oh, it looked like somebody was pouring milk from third base to first base. All you could see was this white streak. When the Royals and the Yankees played that 2-game series in New York last Monday and Tuesday, today's starting pitchers, John and Gura, Tony was talking about just a moment ago about being around the plate. Each pitcher worked a complete game and won it. John won it 8-3 on Monday, and Gura 3-1 on Tuesday, as Munson takes a strike. Munson had a slump last night. He was 0 for 6.
Hit the ball hard 4 times. The first 2 times up in a double play, then he lined out twice.
Munson is hitting a .309. Ground ball. Patek, long throw.
Oh, Freddie's out.
Nice play by Brett. Got the short hop. 3 up, 3 down. So we go into the bottom half of the first inning. Yankees nothing. Kansas City coming to bat.
For higher gas mileage, come to Chrysler. Chrysler Corporation is #1 in gas mileage of the big 3. When comparing models with standard engines and transmissions, Chrysler has 12 the top Toyota Celica in estimated miles per gallon, 4 the top Ford or GM's best mileage car, 5 the top gas engine Rabbit, and nobody has more models with estimated 25 miles per gallon than Chrysler. Want higher gas mileage? See your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
You know, sometimes you just don't like the finish on something. And that's the best time to reach for a Black & Decker finishing sander, because they're the best-selling line of finishing sanders in America.
At up to 10,000 orbits a minute, they'll take on paint, rust, rough wood, or any unpleasant finish and get rid of it.
There. Now that's what I call a nicer finish. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
Here is the lineup for the Kansas City Royals against Tommy John. Willie Wilson leads it off in left field. UL Washington is at second base. Amos Otis is in center field. George Brett in the cleanup spot at first base. Al Cowens is in right field. Darrell Porter, the designated hitter. John Wathan is the catcher. Fred Patek, the shortstop. And Todd Cruz is the third baseman. We take a look at the defense. Tony, there was some talk before the game, I referred to a little bit earlier, that maybe Benitez would be in the lineup, or even Cliff Johnson.
I got to believe before June 15th, the Yankees are going to pull a trade off. Don't know specifically what for, but with Benitez, they got him to play the outfield against left-handed pitching. White is sitting a little over 180. You got to believe Juan would want to be in there.
There's no soap opera drama going on with this Yankee ball club, but Juan Benitez, this is what I found out today, just kind of snooping around. Tony and I were sniffing sweatshirts, as they say. And Benitez's agent went in to talk to the Yankees about being traded. They're not playing me, so get me traded. And the Yankees supposedly said a flat out, no, we need you, but they're not playing them. So maybe the what is it, boiling water?
I don't think they're happy with Juan because he's a little bit overweight. He won a Gold Glove a couple of years ago. There's the bench. Cliff Johnson not playing today either. You'd think the trouble Yankees have had with left-handed pitching, and Gura is on the mound today, that they'd get a couple of big right-handed bats in there, like Johnson and maybe Beniquez, but not so. Tommy John. What an outstanding start he has had. His parents here today from Indiana drove all the way to see Tommy pitch.
He's got his little nephew as the bat boy, too. I think it's Chris, the little blonde-haired boy who was in a Dodger uniform. I said, hey, what did Dodgers do, trade you? He looked at me and he said, no, I came over on my own.
The only pitcher in the major leagues in double figures. With 10, Wilson will bat from the right side, which is his natural style. He began switch hitting 1977 in the minor leagues.
He's 6'3", 190 pounds, turns 24 on July 9th, born in Montgomery, Alabama, and he now lives in Summit, New Jersey, and his wife Kathleen. There's a strike. He was the Royals' top June draft pick in the regular phase in 1974. Bull foul. He is considered by many to be professional baseball's fastest player. Solid defensive performer, exciting base running artist, and that came right out of the yearbook. Tommy John. That's the way to keep him from stealing right there. 3 pitches, 1 out. First strikeout for Tommy John.
Well, he's wincing out of the mound. Looked like Tommy's having a little difficulty getting loose.
He's one of those smilers, though, Tony. Remember Bob Keegan, the Yankees had, always looked like he was smiling at you. Here is U.L. Washington hitting .255, no home runs, against Tommy John, who leads the major leagues in wins with 10, leads the starters in earned run average of 1.90. There's the perfect pitch. Tommy John low and outside.
Already Washington questioning the baseball. What it was, they are not going to look. Yeah, they are going to look at the ball. UL Washington already wants to see the ball. Tommy John, like Don Sutton of the Dodgers, has been accused of cutting a baseball.
Oh, they say he's got a file in his glove. Others say that he uses his belt buckle. When you throw a sinker and you're winning, they're going to say a lot of things. Low, 1-1. But, you know, in a situation like that, the threat is as good as the pitch. If they think you're doing it, you're ahead of them.
His ball really moves, not only downwardly, but also out of the strike zone, will tail away severely to right-handed hitters. It was a breaking ball.
What did he call it? He didn't call it anything. Through 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Dodgers lead, top of the first. They came up with 2 runs. They're leading over the Cubs 2-0. A threat of bad weather there also. How about Lopes? He have 15 home runs now. It's amazing.
Kingman.
19.
Kingman with 19 leads the National League. Lynn leads with 15. Singleton has 14. Schmidt has 17 in the National League. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The Royals are trying to slow Tommy John down. They've asked for the ball. UL Washington taking time to get in, trying to upset his rhythm.
Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Greg Nettles. In time. 2 up and 2 down. 1 strikeout and a ground ball. Oh, I tell you, as Amos Sodas comes up, it's a shame that everybody can't hear Whitey Herzog do his imitation of Casey Stengel in regards to hitting against Tommy John. It was really something. Whitey was talking about, well, I'm going to make him try to lay off that ground ball and make him hit the fly ball. He had old Casey down pat.
Got a collection of beautiful pictures of a great article on his wall. As did Billy when he was managing the Yankees. Darrell Johnson. Seattle now. All proteges of Casey Stengel. These are just a few.
1 ball and no strikes on Amos Sodas. Fouled out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Otis hitting .308, 5 home runs, 33 runs batted in.
I think an amazing stat that almost, well, the outs so far this year that Tommy John has got, almost 60% of them have come on the ground. You want to go up there and swing because you know he's going to be close to the plate. He's not going to walk too many.
Take a look at that.
Total outs, 299. Look at the percentage of ground ball outs, almost 60%. 6 of 10.
Straight away center field, but Rivers is there. So, 3 up and 3 down for Kansas City. We complete 1 inning of play. It's Yankees nothing, Royals nothing.
If your lawn's a jungle, your string trimmer better be a Home Light. Gas power to outwork, outreach, and outmaneuver any electric to cut a wider swath. And advance cutting string automatically at a trigger's touch. The Home Light gasoline string trimmer at only 7 1/4 pounds. King of the jungle. So advanced, it could only be a Home Light.
The best pictures happen only once, and the SX70 sonar knows how to get them. With this single lens reflex, sound waves whip the lens into perfect focus. An electronic brain sets the f-stop and shutter speed. It's all automatic. And in minutes, my pictures are part of the party. Polaroid's SX70 sonar. Of all the fine cameras, this is the world's smartest.
I shopped around before I came to Midas. I went to this gas station and said, "Is your bargain muffler guaranteed?" He says, "Then it wouldn't be a bargain." So I went to another station and said, "Is your bargain muffler guaranteed?" He says,
"What's the matter, pal? Don't you trust me?"
What looked like a bargain was no bargain. Midas gave me a good price and a guarantee. If anything goes wrong, they replace my muffler free as long as I own my car. It pays to Midas size.
On NBC's Game of the Week, see the explosive Kansas City Royals battle it out with the Milwaukee Brewers, or see the Orioles face hard-hitting Roy Smalley and the Twins next Saturday.
It'll be Lou Piniella, Greg Nettles, and Darryl Jones. And our baseball next week, Baltimore and Minnesota, those amazing Baltimore Orioles and equally amazing Minnesota Twins. I'm really anxious to see that game. Roy Smalley leading the league. Wilfong around second base have really been something. Orioles 35 and 21. They lead Boston by a game, Milwaukee by 4, and Minnesota 2.5 games behind the California Angels. They're 30 and 24, 6 over 500. So it'll be Baltimore at Minnesota, from Minnesota, or the California Angels and the Detroit Tigers. There's a fastball that's high. Those Angels in first place, and the Tigers, boy, can they score runs. Kemp is having a big year. Those kids around second base. That's next week. Check the listings in your area for the game. Baltimore against Minnesota or California and Detroit. Larry Gura with the count of 1 ball and 1 strike, no score, top of the second. 2 balls and 1 strike. And we're certainly happy that today's game is being televised in the Kansas City area by WDAF-TV Channel 4, which will be the originating station for Royals baseball next season. There's a strike, and certainly would like to thank the Royals for requesting to have the local blackout lifted for today's telecast. Thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Ewing Kaufman, Joe Burke, and the rest of the Royals organization and WDAF-TV Channel 4. Just blew it by him. That's as hard as I've seen it go.
He will get some hitters out with that fastball, because you start looking for that little turned over fastball or screwball and sinker, the slow curve. You'll get hitters out with a hard slider and that fastball.
Tony, you were talking about Mr. Davy Lopes. Look at that on the ticker.
Another one. Was it
16th in the first inning with nobody on.
What a pace.
Davy Lopes. Here is Greg Nettles. Nettles hit a big home run in the 10th inning, and they got the shift on as it misses the curveball. 3 infielders to the second base side, and there you see them.
There are just a couple of other teams that do that. Earl Weaver will do that on occasion with Nettles. Left-handed pitchers, Nettles is trying to go a little bit more to left field. That's why his average is a little better this year. He's trying to wait longer on the breaking stuff, but he can still turn it and pull the ball on you, as he showed last night.
When they talk about this Yankee ball club, they talk about Rivers being the catalyst and Munson being the guts. They refer to Nettles and Jackson as the strength of the Yankee ball club.
Reggie on the 15-day disabled list. Pulled a muscle after he made a catch jogging in. Lower part of his calf.
That was a good pitch right there. 2 strikes. Gura had that pitch just out of the strike zone, but too close to take and not good enough to really hit. That's what a waste pitch is really supposed to do. Waste is a misnomer. It should work for you. Jammed him. Amos Otis is calling for it. 2 outs.
A.O. he's had a good start. He and Collins, before he got beamed, carried this ball club early on.
Here is Darrell Lee Jones, an outfielder. He's got a younger brother, Lynn, outfielder with Detroit. He was 28 years old yesterday. He was brought up last week after 7 full years in the minor leagues. In 1978 at Tacoma, hit .322.
He sneaked an important base hit in yesterday, too, that just dribbled between Patek and Brett. Keep a rally going. Pinch hitting.
Takes it inside, ball 1. He hit .321, 9 doubles, 1 triple, no home runs this year at Columbus before they brought him up. Broke in 1972 at Aniata, hit .300. Has a quick bat, is what they're saying. There's a strike. The on-deck batter, Chris Chambliss. Randy Gumpert, a former Yankee pitcher, signed him. Turned it over, a little bit of a screwball, and young Jones, Darrell Jones, does kind of a little tap dance with that left foot of his before he begins his stride.
It's one of the big differences, I believe, these days, hitting in the minor leagues and then you get to the major leagues, Joe. You learn to hit that fastball. When you get up here with the screwballs and forkballs and the change of speeds on curves and the guys turning the fastball over, that's what they're going to, a tough situation they'll make you hit. They're not going to give you the fastball. They know you can hit that or you wouldn't have made it to the major leagues and hit well.
An oversimplification is control of the strike zone. That's the difference between a minor leaguer and a major leaguer, be it a pitcher or a hitter. Jammed him. Oh, base hit all the way past Cruz. He nonchalanted, and Jones is going to go into second base. He jammed him and got around on it. Looked like it's going to be a routine play, Tony.
Sure did. He got the big hop. We'll see it again. Third base umpire is calling it fair ball. Cruz, who they've raved about with his glove, scored it as a base hit.
Boy, I tell you, very charitable double. It's a good start for Jones, though. He's now 3 for 5 in the American League. Here is Chambliss. That's a first base hit off Gura. Cruz seemed to be waiting for the ball. Wonder if he thought I was going to hit the bag.
Don't know.
2 outs. Jones at second. Chambliss takes a strike.
Gura, since coming over, they're going to have some sign changes with the man down at second base, I believe, to get their switches
He
right.
got crossed up a little bit.
Think so?
Yeah, because he wasn't sure. He didn't shift out there, and he's going to make sure because it's an easy way to get a pass ball. I wouldn't worry too much about Jones. He's so happy to be in the big leagues and so happy to be at second base. I doubt if he'd be trying to steal signs.
Correct me if I'm wrong, which I am oft times. If you're a catcher and you call a fastball,
yes,
the guy crosses you up through a curveball, that's no problem.
No problem.
But if you call a curveball and the guy throws you a fastball, you're in trouble.
You order 4 beers by holding up just 2 fingers.
And you chase back to the screen.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly what you do. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Gura's been outstanding, Joe, excuse me, in this ballpark since he came over from the Yankees.
Well hit. There she goes. That's a 2-0 ball game way back there. Home run. No doubt about it.
Now, 2 earned runs for Gura, unless that scoring decision has changed. It would have been the 3rd out if Cruz had gotten the big hopper. It was scored as a double, a hit. They become earned instead of unearned.
That's the 8th home run of the year for Chris Chambliss. And Al Collins could do nothing but watch it sail over the double fence, over the 385 marker. And there you see the Yankee bench. Chambliss, Guidry, Piniella. As Roy White steps in and takes it outside for ball 1. 2-0. Yankees have taken the lead. Gura retired the first 5 men and a double and a home run, and he's trailing 2-0. Curveball misses.
Started to say before that home run by Chambliss how well he pitches in this ballpark. Since he came over from the Yankees, he has been 17 wins, Gura has, and 2 losses here at Royal Stadium. On the road, he is 14-12.
Down the right field line, Cowens is there. He makes the play. That ends the second inning, but the Yankees on a home run. His 8th home run of the year by Chris Chambliss. Yankees 2, Royals nothing.
A relief pitcher has always got to reach back for something extra. Take the bottom of the 9th. Score tied. 2 on, 2 out. Now the batter thinks I'm going to throw him my hard slider. But I reach back for Levi Garrett chewing tobacco. Taste that fresh Levi Garrett flavor one time, and you'll know why it's one of the fastest growing brands of loose leaf chewing tobacco in the country. It's my brand. Make it yours.
Some guys never learn. They're still taking it on the chin. Gotcha. Norelco offers the Norelco rotary razor. Not 1 or 2 blades, but 36 blades inside 3 adjustable floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave without a nick or cut. So say hello to the Norelco rotary razor and say goodbye to Gotcha.
How do you spell relief?
When I get acid indigestion, I spell relief R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolaids spells relief. Clinical tests prove with Rolaids you get relief Tums can't beat. That's right, relief Tums can't beat. In fact, relief no other leading antacid can beat. How do you spell relief?
For heartburn, I know. R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Relief no other leading antacid can beat.
Hi, I'm Brian Gumbel. The United Nations has proclaimed 1979 the International Year of the Child. NBC Sports proudly joins in this celebration saluting the children of the world.
That's our low home plate camera right behind, and a lot of scouting is done for him. The man in the blue jacket is Steve Busby, one of the Royals pitchers. He is charting pitches for Splittorff, who is scheduled to pitch tomorrow. Splittorff went home with the flu. Busby has had some kind of recovery, knee surgery. What rotator cuff is that? The dreaded injury that a pitcher, they say you never come back from, but he has pitched well this year. Been a struggle for him.
He's quite a young man, Steve Busby.
Boy,
I was in the elevator with him yesterday, and I said, boy, I really admire you for the way you've battled back. He said, well, it's been frustrating, agonizing, but I'm glad to be here.
Here's a kid, by the time he was 21, what a prospect he is, that pitched 2 no-hitters. And then the arm problems. But he's coming back.
So we're in the bottom of the second. 2-0. The Yankees are leading, and George Brett. Billy Hunter, the Rangers manager, says he's just the best player in the American League today. A pure hitter. Saw a quote in Peter Gammon's column about all the injuries in Kansas City, and he quotes Orioles general manager Hank Peters as saying, now you know how dominant George Brett can be. He can keep you in a race, and he's done just that.
He plays through injuries. He had that surgery on his thumb, and he keeps on playing. Look out.
2 balls and 1 strike as he lost control of that bat, and here's another look at it.
Tony Oliva used to do a lot of that. Maybe a little pointer for kids that you don't strangle that bat. You can see, you let a bat go like that, it means you're not strangling the bat. You got a kind of a loose grip on it. When you make contact, those hands will tighten up. Makes it a little quicker. You hold your hands a little more relaxed.
George Brett hitting .322, 7 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Leads the American League in total bases with 128, and leads from triples with 8. He had 1 of them last night. Takes it low as 3-1. Boy, remember that playoff game he had against the Yankees. He was going to do it single-handed. George Brett draws the walk. Tommy John, a pretty good control pitcher. He's only walked 15 batters in 99 2/3 inning this season. Average of 1.4 per 9 innings. Last year was 2.2, which was 6th among the National League starters. Lifetime rate is 2.5, so it's a rarity when he gives up a walk, but he just did, and here's Al Cowens.
Tommy John, a guy that you don't mind hitting a run against. He has a sinker. You know he's going to throw you a ground ball. Munson's shoulder might still be bothering him. Brett has 9 stolen bases. Let's see if Herzog starts a runner. He likes to run, likes to hit and run.
Brett doesn't have much of a lead. You can measure it here because of the artificial surface. And there's a sinker that misses. I don't care. There you see Brett. I don't care who the sinker ball pitcher is, but all managers say the same thing in the meeting. Make him bring the ball up. Make him bring it up. Base hit to right field. Brett will stop at second. Howens has the first hit off Tommy Johns, and Kansas City has it going.
And you can bet any chance these Royals get on the bases with their team speed, they will try to take advantage of the Yankee outfield throwing arms. White in left, Rivers in center. Piniella has the best in right field of the three.
That brings up Darrell Porter, who is the designated hitter. Porter is hitting .299 with 6 home runs and 42 runs batted in.
He bunted against the left-hander Cott yesterday with a man on in a close ball game. Let's see if he does it now.
Big open stance.
I would think, Joe, with the threat of rain, Herzog might want something other with no outs and have him bunting. A hit.
Going all the way. Ball 1. Yankees lead 2-0. We're in the bottom of the second. The 2-run homer by Chris Chambliss. Nobody out. Brett's at second. Howens at first. Off the handle. 1 out. Back to John. A double play. 3-6-1. You don't see that too often.
That is an outstanding play by Tommy John to get over. Many times a pitcher will drift over, hit hard. Chambliss on a slick artificial surface really battles it. Dent, the shortstop, waits till Tommy John gets over. Now he unleashes the throw, and John is standing there. A lot of pitchers will take it on the run, and you've got to lead them, and you throw it wild. That was an outstanding play by John.
I say that 70% of the pitchers will be taking it on a run. 20% of the pitchers would be spectators. Only 10% would be standing there like John did.
That's why he wins an extra game or two during the course of the year, backing up bases.
Brett's at third with 2 outs, and John Wathen, the catcher, takes ball 1. Outside ball 2. The good winners, the big winners, the successful pitchers do the little things. They're able to bunt to move the man over. They cover first base. They feel their position. Ground ball. Randolph has it. John's going to get out of it. Royals, after putting the first 2 men on, do not score. We complete 2 innings of play here, and it's New York 2, Kansas City nothing.
I got held up every morning, waiting for my roll-on antiperspirant to dry. Look, roll-ons go on wet. Later, they still stick to your shirt. So I got on the stick. Menon Speed Stick. Speed Stick is solid deodorant, an even effective layer of deodorant protection that goes on dry. So dry that Speed Stick never sticks to your shirt. So don't get held up. Get on the stick. Menon Speed Stick.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Hey, where you been? It wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Hey, Bob.
Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you've got and a bottle of Lowenbrow. Steak and Lowenbrow. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
Want high gas mileage? Come to Chrysler. Chrysler Corporation is #1 in gas mileage of the big 3. Of all conventional pickups with an optional V8 and automatic transmission, Dodge D100 has the highest EPA estimated gas mileage. Of all small pickups with a standard engine and optional automatic transmission, Dodge D50 has the highest EPA estimated mileage. Want a pickup with high gas mileage? Come to Dodge. Chrysler is #1 in gas mileage of the big 3.
On Sports Sunday, live final round coverage of the LPGA Championship. Then it's Sports World with women's gymnastics, Friendship Cup weightlifting, the English Derby, and more tomorrow.
Another big weekend of sports here on NBC. Following our game of the week, you'll be watching the LPGA Golf Championship from Kings Island in Ohio. And then tomorrow, it's just a big afternoon. Sports World has quite a lineup. It'll begin, well, let's go down with the final round of the coverage of the golf tomorrow. 2:30 Eastern time. And then at 4:30, 1:30 Pacific time, except in Los Angeles where it's 4 o'clock. And there's a high fastball to Bucky Dent. We're going to have the USGF National Gymnastics Championship women's finals from Dayton. You'll also see Olympic class weightlifting in Leningrad, the 200th running of the English Derby, and the finale of the fittest of them all. It's Golf and Sports World tomorrow on NBC.
A veritable potpourri of sports entertainment.
I tell you, that LPGA is going to have some kind of finish.
I guess.
3-0 is a strike.
Who's the gal? I'd never heard of her. I hate to admit it, but I'd never heard of this gal that's leading.
6 years on the tour, Geraldine Fritz. She shot a 64 on Thursday, and she's got a 3-shot lead over Joanne Carner and Donna Capone Young. High bouncing ball. Cruz, watch his arm. Quick flip. He gets him easily.
Cruz came over from the Phillies when Patek had shoulder problems and back problems. This kid filled in. He's moved to third base today, and Herzog wants to get a little defense in his lineup. He's been hurt by errors. And there's a guy that can play defense, even though he made it costly. Well, it was a hit, but we think it should have been an error.
Here is Mickey Rivers. He bounced out his first time up. Strike one. You know, there's something about an honest answer from an athlete, Tony, and I want to get back to this Geraldine Fritz, who's leading the LPGA, at least she was this morning. Rivers takes strike two. After she shot the 64 and she saw her name as the tournament leader, she said she walked up to the first tee and looked at her hands and they were shaking. She was that nervous because she just wasn't used to it. Rivers lines a base hit to center field.
Bailed out, he still got it. He gets looked like a curveball or slider up. Rivers, who is swinging and running, just managed to get that bat on it.
That curveball, it was a curveball only because you signaled number 2, but it really didn't snap off. It was just a hanging roundhouse job. Willie Randolph, 1 man out. Rivers at first. Randolph bounced out third to first his first time up. Draws a throw.
Mickey has really not been stealing many bases. He had a severely pulled or torn hamstring muscle. He's stolen just 3, been caught 4 times. But he is gradually recovering from that pulled muscle.
1 ball. I tell you, Tony, the lead he's getting, he's not about to steal off Gura or Waltham unless it's a real bad pitch, because he's not getting off very far at all. You can measure it by where the artificial surface meets the dirt. Most of them get at least 1 foot on the artificial surface. Rivers is at least 2 steps back. You can see he doesn't have much of a lead.
Rivers had his best stolen base year when he was over playing for Whitey Herzog in California, or Whitey was at California, when he was running on his own. He hasn't done that for Billy Martin nor for Bob Lemon. They give him the sign when they want him to go, or they tell him when to hold up.
Gura. There he goes. Hit and run. Hit deep. Collins giving it a chase. Oh, this chase. It's off the wall. It bounces into the stands for a double. So Rivers will stop at third. He just stuck his bat.
You can't tell me that ball is juiced up. He was fooled. He stuck the bat out, and that ball went 375 feet. That's Willie Randolph, who is a strong kid, but not with that kind of swing. He got out near the fence.
No, he didn't go into that ball. He put that bat out there like he was going to try to punch it, and he about punched it into St. Joe, Missouri. That ball is really souped up. I bet you can pick up that baseball he hit and feel the heartbeat.
And it was a little bit of a break for Kansas City up to this point anyway, because Rivers might have scored on the hit and run if that ball stayed in the ballpark. There's the left, Bob Lemon. Dent.
Poster boy. Bucky Dent has a poster out. Gene Monahan. Jay Johnstone, our lineup reader. The Yankee bench. They lead 2-0, and they're threatening here. 1 man out, base runners at second and third, and Thurman Munson, who was described as the guts of this Yankee ball club. It is a curveball that misses.
Munson has been disappointed in his RBI production, Joe. He's driven in just 23. He's got 1 home run. They tell me his knee is bothering him again, which brings up the question. After a night game last night, a long night game, he's catching today. And with the knee problem, I gotta believe, well,
you gotta believe there's a trade going on.
I don't know. I gotta believe he should be DHing today instead of catching. But if 10 innings yesterday.
Randolph's at second and Rivers is at third. If they were going to showcase somebody, let's say Johnson was trade material, he's showcasing by playing him. Not necessarily for just Kansas City, because there's all kinds of super scouts in the stands. Outside, first base is open. Gura is not going to give Munson anything too good to hit. Munson looking at third, you know he's got the green light, and Larry knows that. So the pitch he'll make here will be a Hall of Fame pitch. Way outside. No way he was going to let him hit. That's one of those intentional, unintentional walks.
He'll take his chance getting Pinella to hit in a double play, which he has done a little bit of this year. Here comes Galen Cisco, the pitching coach, and Galen Cisco's got to be going up a wall because this ball club was supposed to be built around their pitching staff. But their earned run average for the team, the Royals, is 4.39. Gale has had a rough start. Gura has had a rough start. Raposki out of the bullpen has not been good. Leonard had a bad arm. You go on and on with it.
This telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Bases loaded. 1 man out. Pinella. Strike 1. Pinella played for Kansas City for 5 years and hit .286 when he was here. A good high ball hitter.
Interestingly enough, that bullpen for Kansas City is not yet going.
Base hit up the middle. Rivers scores. Randolph's going to score. Munson heads for third, and nobody was there, and it goes into the dugout.
And Gura got there too late. He pounded on the mound a while after the base hit got by his glove. The third baseman, Cruz, was in the wrong position. He was in a cutoff position. That's the first baseman's job between the pitcher's mound. Cruz wasn't there. The bag was open. The throw came in with no one covering the bag, and Gura, by hesitating, he might have saved the ball from going in the dugout. You see Larry come into your picture right. Well, not yet as far as, and there it goes. Gura was beating the mound because he thought he should have had the ball hit up the middle. Now we're going to see, we've got a conference with the umpires in front of the mound. They're going to send Pinella an overthrow to third base. He was on his way to second, so he gets that base plus the additional base on the overthrow. It will be scored as an error, unfortunately, to the center fielder.
Third baseman, Greg Nettles.
The scoreboard had an error on the second baseman, but we're going to have to find out officially. Here is Greg Nettles. 5-0. Strike 1. Pinella's at third. 1 man out. Tell you, boy, that looked like a little league play.
That can happen when you play people in unfamiliar positions. Cruz is a shortstop. He's playing third, and he was improperly positioned.
The center fielder gets the error, Tony.
Right over the bag. Amos Soda's bounced it, but no one was there. So Cruz really, although he didn't get the errors, but instrumental. He didn't get either errors, instrumental in some of the Yankee runs today. Double.
Would that be a case for that thing they're trying to come up with, a team error? Not just give it to an individual?
Yeah, how do you give that? That might be Dick Young and Jack Lang are guys, writers from New York, who've suggested that for many years. And they're talking primarily about that ball that gets lost in the sun, that pop-up. This might be a case, because how do you give that error to Otis? He made a perfect
error.
play. He threw where he was supposed to.
Gura, he's going to have a double play. He's going to race into the bag. Nobody there. Cruz was out of position. Didn't get back there.
It was the shift again. Cruz was playing almost toward the shortstop, and when the ball was hit, He can't get back in time to third base, so Gurra's going to take it himself. Had Piniella hung up, Cruz is there now, but too late. Poor Larry Gurra. Look at this. What a try by Gurra. You talk about pitching in tough luck.
Boy, he has had a tough luck. I tell you, it's 5 runs on the scoreboard, but Chambliss hit the ball hard, Rivers and Randolph, but that double by Darrell Jones before Chambliss' home run was one of those Christmas gifts. And this inning, he even thought himself he should have had Piniella's ball, and then they start throwing the ball around, looked like a fire drill, everybody running around, nobody stopping the ball, ended up in the dugout. So Gurra's had a tough time of it, and he's trailing 5-0. There are 2 outs, and here is Darrell Jones.
I recall the last time we saw him pitch on the game of the week up in Boston, and there were a lot of close calls. The amateur umpires were still working, and he was getting behind hitters, which was unlike him, and he didn't pitch that badly that game either, although I believe he got the loss.
Inside. And we talked about that to Whitey before the game. A fellow like Gurra, or Tommy John for that matter, they've got to get that low strike, that corner strike. 5-0. Yankees lead with Piniella at third base. 2 balls and 1 strike. Boy, we saw 2 pretty good dives getting ready for the Olympics. Gurra and Piniella. Maybe we should save that for when we do our coverage of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Put it in there and say, you guys not so good. Look at Piniella and Gurra in a baseball game. 2 balls and 1 strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. Let's pause briefly for our station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WDAF TV4, Kansas City, Missouri.
Lou Piniella is at third base. 3 runs are in. The Yankees are leading 5-0. We're in the top of the third. Off the end of the bat. So it's a full count. Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek here in Royal Stadium. As we look at Fred Spinn, the first base umpire. And next week, Baltimore, Earl Weaver and his crew against Minnesota Twins, Gene Mock and Roy Smalley.
Mike Marshall.
And
he's been instrumental in so many of the games they've won.
Gurra strikes him out. That ends the inning. Second strikeout. Tough inning for Gurra. Tough inning for Kansas City. We go into the bottom half of the third. It's New York 5 and Kansas City nothing.
We all had athlete's foot.
Yeah, burning, itching, peeling.
The works.
And Desnex helped clear it right up.
Students like these took part in recent clinical studies that once again prove if you've got athlete's foot, don't blame Desnex. More proof on top of years of clinical evidence that shows Desnex is highly effective against athlete's foot.
Desnex really worked for us.
So if you've got athlete's foot, don't blame Desnex.
Hey, Waco, Texas. Who introduced the radial tire?
He did.
Hey, Gloucester, Massachusetts. Who makes only radial tires?
He does.
He's the Michelin Man. And at Michelin, we put you first. That's why we won't make a second best tire. Because the only thing more important than our tires are the people who ride on them. Hey, Laguna Beach, California. Who's the fastest growing tire company in America?
Michelin.
At Michelin, we put you first.
Doesn't come off.
This thick Rise lather holds so strong, these men can't even shake it off.
I can't even throw it off. Nothing is happening.
This Rise lather holds strong to your finger, just as it holds to every whisker in your beard. Rise is thicker than the leaning foam. Rise keeps working hard, so your beard comes off easy.
This is incredible.
Rise holds so strong, your beard comes off easy.
You're looking at one of the more picturesque sights in the ballpark. The beautiful fountains here at Royal Stadium. Very beautiful setting here. They have fountains in center field. Great fans. Hello, NBC Sports. Seattle, huh? Fresno, Memphis. Well, Seattle, that's where the All-Star game will be. And we'll be covering it. You'll see it right here on NBC. A lot of great sporting events coming up.
That's the freeway just beyond the grass in this ballpark and the scoreboard. Highway 70, right to St. Louis.
Right to the hill. Right to the hill and see my brother. Fred Patek leads it off. Los Angeles 2, Chicago batting the bottom of the first. Sutcliffe against Lamp. Lopes a home run. That's his 15th home run in his last 27 games. He is on a rampage. High, ball 1. Mets 2, Houston, nothing. Bottom of the third, Andujar against Swan. Houston, they've won 9 out of 10. Popped up along the third base line. Looks like there's going to be room. And Nettles makes a fine play.
Is there anything he cannot do with the glove? He's talking to Phil Pepe, one of the writers who travels with the McGall Club every day. And asked him, hey, your unbiased opinion, you see him. Is he better than Brooks, better than Clete Boyer? As Nettles goes to the stands for the pop-up, he said, well, I can't say he's better than, but they weren't any better than he was. He just goes so well either way.
He's amazing. And I tell you, he's something on a ball club. Here is Todd Cruz outside, ball 1. They call him Puff because he's got a great sense of humor, and he starts things, then he disappears. There's a strike.
You know, I asked Pepe who he'd pick for the All-Star if he had to vote. Brett or Nettles? He said, I really couldn't tell. He said, but I'll tell you one thing, Nettles is not only playing defense, but as you indicated earlier, Joe, he's really hitting the ball well.
Bucky Dent in time, and Cruz is out. Cruz, a youngster, only 23 years old, born in Highland Park, lives in Detroit.
Looking at the #1 defensive team in the American League statistic-wise, and that infield's a big part of it. Nettles, Dent, Randolph, Chambliss is steady. They don't make many errors.
Willie Wilson, who was out on strikes. Strike 1. John has thrown 5 grounders so far. We're going to take a page out of the late and great Casey's book. That's what he called them. Throw those ground balls. Low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Let's watch the follow-through position of Tommy John. You can see the ball went outside, and he's breaking toward the first base side because he figured that's where the ball would be hit. Bobby Shantz would do that so well. You get a guy who can feel well up the middle. As a shortstop or second baseman, you can cheat a little bit away because you know they're going to get any ground ball up there.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Fouled out of play. The Royals, you know, you talk about power, and sometimes when you talk about power, people just think about home runs as being power. But these Royals hit a lot of doubles and triples, so they have good power as you look at the bench. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and it's an interesting battle here. And so far, John has the upper hand with a 5-0 score, but it's a sinker baller against line drive hitters. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, when you look at the Yankees' power, you would automatically think, hey, they score more runs. But before today's game started, the Royals had scored 299 runs, the Yankees 248.
High, 3 balls and 2 strikes. There you are. Look at that. 1976 doubles, triples. Led the league. Dent. In time, 3 up, 3 down, another ground ball. So we complete 3 innings of play here. It's the New York Yankees 5, Kansas City Royals nothing. And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Death walks the decks of a luxury liner. Claude Akins, Frank Converse, and Patty Dugaston search for the killer on board. Tuesday.
Since 1959, Mike Turner has bought 5 cars, 3 refrigerators, 4 TV sets, and 1 lawnmower, a commercial Yazoo. How many mores have you bought so far? Maybe you should buy 1 more, a commercial Yazoo. In residential use, it should last you a lifetime.
The sooner you get down from there, the sooner we can get behind a couple of beers. All right.
Boy.
Sunset.
The time of day when you don't just reach for a beer. You head for the mountains.
Nice talking to you too, Carl.
Carl? Was that Carl Klinghammer?
Yes, sir.
Well, we haven't done business with him in ages.
Oh, yes, but I call him just to keep in touch.
Hold it, Kramer. You called an inactive customer, long distance, just to keep your foot in the door?
Well, yes, sir.
Nice idea, Kramer. I can see why you set all of the sales records around here.
Long distance. It's the way to get things done today.
Down Home Country Entertainment, today at 6.
That statistic really tells a story. During the regular season, 76, Kansas City 7-5. 77, they were even. 78, 6-5, Kansas City. But in the playoffs, those Yankees are in the championship series. Those Yankees, so they play about even. They get right down to it. They just can't get over the hill.
Guy at the bat right there had something to say. The first year in the playoffs.
Oh, did he know? Chris Chambliss, yeah. How about Brett?
Yeah.
Series he had. Whitey was talking about the importance of a bullpen in the short series. Chambliss takes outside. Of course, the importance of a bullpen. In fact, they asked Whitey Herzog, who's one of our favorites. He's so darn honest about everything. He said, what does it take to be a good manager? He said, a sense of humor and a great bullpen.
Yeah,
outside.
He said if he'd had Gossage over the last 3 years, he'd have been riding into a World Series. There's Yogi. How come we waited so long to get a shot of Yogi?
I don't know. He was out there mighty early. He got out there plenty early. Sure hope that our good friend Elston Howard is feeling better. Ellie had to make a return trip to the hospital, but we understand he's feeling much better, and we miss him. There's the strike to Roy White. Roy White fly to right. $5-0 Yankees lead on the top of the 4th. Popped up. And UL Washington at second base, and now Brett, and look out.
They kind of looked at each other, and then the wind started drifting the ball to second base. Kansas City, second last in the league defensively.
They've got some action in Chicago. Let's go to Chicago for an update.
This is Charlie Jones in West Parker. We would like to watch the half of the country that has been looking in on the Kansas City, New York Yankee game here at Wrigley Field. We have a 3-3 tie between the Dodgers and the Cubs. Davey Lope started it all off in the top of the first with a solo home run. Reggie Smith in a double, Steve Garvey with a single and the RBI. In the bottom of the first, the Cubs came back with 3. Dave Kingman is the hitter right now. And Rick Sutcliffe comes inside. In the bottom of the first, Sizemore was on in a walk, Buckner single. Kingman with a single up the middle in the RBI. Jerry Martin with a single and 2 RBIs to make it a 3-2 ball game. In the top of the second, Thomason had walked, Ferguson had later single, and Sutcliffe then squaring to bunt. The Cubs with a play on. The shortstop, De Jesus, breaking to third. Sutcliffe with a single from the spot that he left, picked up the RBI and tied it up. Now, while we have a little bit of an equipment repair, let's go back to the top of this inning, the top of the third, when Reggie Smith singled to start it off. He was then thrown out at second. It was a hit and run. Garvey was on first, hit by a pitch. And then Ron Say, a line shot to Dave Kingman, who made a good defensive play deep and left. Garvey did not re-tag the bag at second. After passing it and returning to first, Sizemore picked it up on the appeal. They got him on the double play. So we're now in the bottom of the third inning. Sizemore with a single off of the glove of the pitcher. Buckner a fly ball to right. And Kingman the batter, and the count is 2-0 to the leading home run hitter in the major leagues, Dave Kingman.
Garvey's situation was not as flagrant as the classic story of not touching second. The runner went from first to third
discovered the ball was caught and then cut across the pitcher's mound to get back to first.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker that way. Strike call, 2-1.
And folks, that actually happened in a Major League Baseball game, although I do not recall the particulars.
Kingman's RBI in the bottom of the first. His 46th of the year. He is second in the National League in that category as Sizemore was scampering back to first base. Bottom of the third, one away and a runner at first. And a 2-1 count to Dave Kingman.
Rick Sutcliffe, the rookie pitcher for the Dodgers on the hill today, has been just as important to them this year as Bob Welch was last year, as the Dodger pitching staff has just been riddled with injuries.
He comes high, 3-1. Of Dave Kingman's 19 home runs, 15 of them have been here, 4 on the road. And 16 of the 19 have been hit during the day. Pitch. Could be 2. There is 1. They turn it to the play. Now part of the country will be going back to the New York-Kansas City game. The rest of you stay with us here.
We're still 5-0 here. Yankees leading, and we'll be right back after these messages.
I use a Gillette Good News twin blade disposable razor.
I use a one-blade disposable.
Good News has 2 micro-smooth blades, 2. And 2 blades shave me closer and safer than any one-blade disposable.
This has 1 blade. 1. And 1 blade doesn't shave me as close and safe as his 2-blade Good News. I'll get Good News.
Gillette Good News shaves closer and safer than any one-blade disposable. Good News, the best disposable razor you can buy.
This car uses special racing tires, special brakes, a custom engine, but the shocks are regular Gabriel Red Riders with the working parts you'll find in every Red Rider. 9 valve stages give Red Riders more consistent operation when the going's rough. Many other shocks use only 6. The purpose? Better handling, better control, whatever car you drive. Gabriel Red Riders.
This is force. Up to 500 pounds of it. That's the kind of torture a running shoe has to take with every stride. These are the shoes built to take it. The amazing new USA Olympics. Built to take the pounding, cushion the shock, and provide the comfort. Stride after stride, mile after mile. USA Olympic joggers, only $17.99, and only at JCPenney. They're built to take it.
See exciting live coverage as defending champion Nancy Lopez shoots for her 4th consecutive tour win in the prestigious LPGA Championship later today and tomorrow on NBC.
UL Washington leads it off here in the 4th inning. Side ball 1 in that top of the 4th. Chambliss walked. White popped to the second baseman. Chambliss stole second as Dent was batting, and Dent flied to right. Chambliss held it second, and Rivers flied to right deep to end the inning. So the Yankees had a walk but did not score. Here's a 2-0 pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. LPGA golf coming up. I tell you, Geraldine Britz, she shot a 64 Thursday, 72 yesterday, and 136. It's a 3-shot lead. Joanne Carner and Donna Capone Young at 139. Ground ball. Randolph has it. And Joanne Carner, it's amazing. She's won 23 tournaments, tour tournaments, and she's yet to win the LPGA, so she's battling for that. That'll be an interesting battle.
Nancy Lopez, the defending champ, she had a little bit of a bad round, didn't she?
Yeah, but you know, she's trailing by 8 shots, but she had a quote. She says, I shot a 65 here last year, so I'm not out of it yet. There you see the scores. Foul out of play, Amos Otis. Otis lined to center field his first time up.
He went into yesterday's ball game and Had an 0 for 16 streak going till he hit that home run to help get the Royals back in the game. They were down 10-5 last night to the Yankees, and then they tied it up. Lost in the 10th on the Nettles home run. The only difference is today Tommy John is pitching.
That's right. You know, that air that Otis got, it's kind of sticking in my craw a little bit. I believe I say it's undeserved. I'm talking like a fan now, and the reason I say that because he did what he was supposed to do, and that's throw it to the base, and nobody was covering. It went in the dugout, so somebody has to get blamed, and he got blamed outside. But the reason it sticks in my craw because that's only his second error of the year, and he led the American League outfielders last year, and he only made 2 errors all year. So to give him that error, that's kind of tough.
Last couple of years, he's played center field as well as anybody. His job was challenged by Willie Wilson 2 springs ago. Really seemed to be bearing down harder. Had an outstanding year last year. This year again, he's had a good start.
2-1 pitch, fouls it back. He's also become kind of the elder statesman. I know young Clint Hurdle, who suffered the disappointment and broken heart of being sent back, but I liked what I read where he'll be back. He's too good a ball player. I mean, he is a major league player. They just want him to play more. Otis gave him some great advice upon going down. Go down and bear down, have a good year. Hot smash, base hit for Amos Otis.
He almost got that. Nettles came within, I don't know, 6 inches, a foot of getting that hard smash. It was almost directly at the shortstop. The shortstop hole. He didn't get it, but look at how far he goes. Look at where the line is and where Nettles went and almost got the ball. Show the outstanding range. This is artificial surface where the ball really scoots.
It brings up George Brett, who walked his first time up. Carlton Fisk has hit his first home run of the year in the 3rd. Nobody on. Yastrzemski had one earlier. It's 5-0 into 3. Boston over Minnesota. And Tommy John makes the tag. Somebody call him.
Sprained ankle here, too.
John may be hurt. John's limping.
After he made the tag, he tagged him. He tagged the runner. Somebody's got to call him out.
Well, they finally called
home
him
plate
out.
umpire Ted Hendry said yes, he did. He hit him on the hip. Here it is again. You see very clearly that Tommy tags him as Brett tries to avoid the tag. And then when John tried to stop on the artificial surface to see if the runner was going to run the bag at second, you'll see him twist that ankle just a little bit. There it was. Right ankle. His mind's always in the game. That'll show you how. As soon as he made the tag, he's looking for the runner at second base.
Whitey Herzog came out to discuss it with Ted Henry. There was a lot of indecision between Henry behind the plate and Fred Spen at first base. Usually it's the home plate umpire supposed to have the play from the plate to first base, and the first base umpire from then on, the right field foul pole. They both stood around and didn't give any sign, and so nobody knew what was going on. It's the old umpire thing. It ain't nothing till I call it. That's what it is. They finally called it. Here's Al Cowan, single to right, his first time up. 5-0. Yankees lead. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Low sinker foul tip.
Al Cowan has really come back after that beating. You can see the protective device. Well, it's on the other side of his face, facing toward the pitcher. He got beamed in the face by Ed Farmer. Same game that White was put out with a broken bone in his wrist.
Well hit, base hit, left field. Here comes Otis. And it's a 5-1 ball game.
Howard has really been on a rampage since coming back, and he admits also, you were talking a while ago about the young gal golfer Brits being nervous. He said he was nervous the first plate appearance, but he said, I'm forcing myself to hang in there. Lost 10 pounds. He was drinking malteds through the straw. He said, I never thought I'd dislike malteds. It's all like a drink.
Darrell Porter pulls it foul, strike 1. I'll tell you, it's good to hear people want to give you honest answers like that, like our friend Geraldine Brits saying she was nervous, Cowan saying he has to force himself. Everybody has a choke point. Courage is controlled fear. You're scared, but you got enough courage to see it through.
Oh, boy.
Right field. This may be out of here. Way back. Home run. He hit a ton. The crowd loves it. It's a 5-3 ball game. I tell you, no lead is safe. Two good hitting ball clubs. 5-3 Yankees lead, and home runs are a rarity as far as Tommy John is concerned. Inside, ball one, John Wathan. John giving up only 3 home runs in 99 2/3 innings before today, and there's another base hit.
Looked like Porter might have hit a breaking ball. I think something that has gone somewhat unnoticed, Darryl Porter, that's Wathan and Boris, the first base coach, but Porter, now with 44 runs batted in on the year, is leading all major league catchers in runs batted in. Talk about if you're looking for somebody to vote for, you hear the names Fisk and Munson and Sundberg, but that guy's having a pretty good year, Darryl Porter.
I tell you, this all-star voting, there's so many cases you can make as we look at Fred Patek. Strike one.
Smalley. Well,
Bucky Dent is leading Smalley by 44,000 votes, I think. And Smalley is third because Patek is second, and Patek is really not having that good a year. Fouls it off his helmet. And I did a radio show on it, and my point being, Carlton Fisk was leading the catchers, and he hasn't played. I said, if it means that you don't have to play to make an all-star team, I'll make a comeback.
For example, Patek has not played well defensively this year. He has the last few weeks. But Freddie's hitting 230. Dent has played a steady shortstop, but he's hitting 239. Smalley's leading the league. You never hear of him.
5-3. John lobs one over there. Baylor leads the American League and leads the major leagues in runs batted with 56. Lina has 49. Bakhti and Porter now have 44. Patek is out on strikes. So that ends the inning, but it's a good inning for the Kansas City Royals as they pick up 3 runs. A 2-run homer by Porter, the big blast. We complete 4 innings of play here. It's New York Yankees 5, Kansas City 3.
I'm bringing an appetite, wearing a smile, 'cause you got so many good things to eat. And when I top it off with Tasty Freeze, it's more than a meal, it's a treat.
Right now at Tasty Freeze and Big T family restaurants, we're preparing all your favorite cooking with a little something extra. A good old-fashioned Tasty Freeze dessert.
It's more than a meal, it's a treat.
For higher gas mileage, come to Chrysler. Chrysler Corporation is #1 in gas mileage of the big 3. When comparing models with standard engines and transmissions, Chrysler has 12 the top Toyota Celica in estimated miles per gallon, 4 the top Ford or GM's best mileage car, 5 the top gas engine Rabbit, and nobody has more models with estimated 25 miles per gallon than Chrysler. Want higher gas mileage? See your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
These are just some of the stars who appeared in the first 49 Major League All-Star games. You can be part of baseball's historic 50th All-Star game. Ballots are free at any major or minor league ballpark or at any retail store featuring a Gillette All-Star display. Balloting ends July 4th. Be sure to get out and
The
vote.
preceding announcement was furnished by Major League Baseball. Yankees 5, Royals 3 here in Kansas City, and they've got some action over at Wrigley Field in Chicago. So let's go to Chicago and Charlie Jones and Wes Parker for an update on what's happening between the Chicago Cubs and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
We want to welcome those across the country that have been watching the Yankee-Kansas City game. Here in Wrigley Field, we're in the bottom of the 4th in a 3-3 tie. And the pitch is outside to Jerry Martin, and he walks. So here's the situation in the 4th. Bobby Mercer opened with a single, then stole second. That is his first successful steal of the year, being thrown out 3 previous times. Jerry Martin then walks following the full count. That is the second walk that Sutcliffe has given up. So the Cubs now with runners at first and second, and the hitter is Steve Ontiveros, the third baseman, as Tommy Lasorda, the manager of the Dodgers, looks on. Throw to second. And they have him.
Good pickoff play. I'm surprised Bobby Mercer went for this. Bobby Mercer, who's been around a long time, gets fooled here on a nice pickoff play. I'm also surprised he didn't slide. I think he just got totally fooled by this move by Sutcliffe.
Bill Russell covering the bag at second, one away. Martin the runner at first. The first pitch to Oliveira, strike. Steve struck out his first time up on a 1-2 pitch. A switch hitter started the day hitting 286 from the left side and even 300 from the right side. Inside, almost nicked him. And now half of the country will go back to Kansas City.
Okay, Charlie Jones. Thurman Munson has just lifted a high, lazy fly ball to Willie Wilson in left field. Willie Randolph opened the inning, and he bounced out to the shortstop. So there are 2 outs, nobody on.
Larry Gura hanging tough. Yankees 5, Royals 3. We're in the top of the 5th.
So Lou Piniella, who drove in 2 big runs, and he was the man hit the ball when Otis got that error. Hit a ground ball up the middle. So Gura, 2 outs, nobody on. 5-3. It is coming down. The rain. Hot smash. Knocked down by Cruz. Bad hop. Can't make a play. Base hit.
The ball hit the seam. It was hit hard right down the line. Ball hit the seam between the dirt and the artificial surface. It bounces back and a little bit up. Maybe we can see it. Hit the seam. Hit him off the heel of the glove. It's got to be scored as a base hit.
So here is Greg Nettles. See the umbrellas in the background. Foul tip. Is it umbrellas or umbrellas?
I don't know.
I say umbrellas. My Gina always says it's umbrellas.
I know the word has a Spanish derivation.
I didn't ask you that. 2 outs. Fastball misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets 2, Houston nothing. They're in the bottom of the 6th.
There you see all the bumper shoots.
Oh. Fouled out of play. Listen, I got to let you people in on it. Tony didn't come up with that. The producer, George Finkel, and the director, Harry Coyle, sent up the word bumper shoot.
I'm not that clever.
They split the word. That's right. George said bumper and Harry said shoot. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Greg Nettles waiting. Outside.
Well, his field has been a little bit slick from the rains, but as the rain starts coming down a little harder, anything hit to the outfield or infield is really going to take off. That's a little more of an advantage to Kansas City. They're used to it.
Fastball misses. 3 balls, 2 strikes. You know, given that Houston Mets score, boy, certainly congratulations to young Joe Niekro. Brother, is he off to a start.
The shutout yesterday?
Yeah. Niekro 9-2, and at Lacoste 7-0. Time call. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The top of the 5th, Yankees lead 5-3. Porter has a home run for Kansas City. Chambliss, there goes Piniella, of course. Ground ball. Brett will take it himself. Steps on the bag. That ends the inning. So we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's New York 5, Kansas City 3.
To drive through dirt and dust, good filters are a must. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Trust those filters by AC.
Sure glad I installed new AC air and oil filters before we get into this mess.
I bet AC helps protect those babies too, huh, Dad?
If they're smart.
George!
Oh!
So when you gotta go, we're the name to know. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Trust those filters by AC.
Thanks, AC.
Trust those filters by AC.
When you shoot a lot of pool and bars, you want to stay fast and loose, and you don't want to get filled up. That's why I drink light beer from Miller. Got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling. Plus, the taste is great. And even though a lot of people don't think pool is strenuous, let me tell you something. You can work up a real good thirst, even when you're just showing off.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The race for the 1980 Olympics has already begun. The games in Moscow are just the last lap of a long, grueling race that's going on right now. We've got the talent, but we need your support, because America doesn't send athletes to the Olympics, Americans do. Don't let our team get caught short. Send a contribution to U.S. Olympic Committee, Box 1980C, Cathedral Station, Boston. For contributions of $25 or more, you'll receive this gold-plated medallion. This message sponsored by the U.S. Olympic Committee and NBC.
We'll give you a chance to go grab a pencil, and after the first hitter in this inning, we'll give you that Olympic address again. There you can see on the warning track how the rain is starting to build some puddles. Gets to be a treacherous area down the foul lines. See, those two youngsters came prepared, along with most other people with their umbrellas up. Yankees 5, Royals 3. We're going to the last of the fifth. It'll be the number 9 hitter for the Royals, Todd Cruz. Then he'll be followed by Wilson and Washington. Except for the home run by Porter in the last of the fourth for Kansas City. A typical Tommy John game. 8 of the 12 outs for John. Ground ball outs. Cruz grounded to short back in the third. Pretty steady drizzle here in Kansas City. We've had rain here the past few days. Parking lots have been flooded. So drive-in theater underwater on the way out to the ballpark. Hit hard. Dent battles around the slippery turf. Good throw. He gets Todd Cruz.
I tell you, some of the movies those drive-ins are showing, that's a pretty good idea to have them underwater.
There's Bucky. He was playing Cruz up the middle. That ball almost gets by him as it starts really taking off on the artificial surface. This Yankee defense, inner defense, is outstanding. That guy right there may not cover as much ground as some. But he plays almost every single day, and he gets everything near him. 1 ball, no strikes. Willie Wilson, he is struck out and grounded out. 1-1. Yanks, as we mentioned, lead the American League in fielding. Also in double plays. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Wilson. Steve Boros has kept the stopwatch at times. He's one of the coaches on Willie Wilson. And he's timed Willie Wilson from the right side in 3-8 down to first base. Also Ron LaFleur from the right side in 3-8 down to first base. Wilson from the left side, Joe, you talked about his speed earlier, on a drag bunt has been timed at 3.3 seconds to first. But everybody still talks about, and Tom Greenwade will attest to this, he's the man that signed Mickey Mantle. Wilson goes down for the second time on strikes. Greenwade, Yankee scouts, and even in the major leagues, had Mantle in 3.1 seconds to first base in a drag bunt. Here's the strikeout. What a breaking ball. 2 outs to bring up UL Washington. 5-3, the Yankees over the Royals. Last of the fifth.
At LPGA golf, Tony, is going to be a shootout by the time it's over. Brits is 9 under, Joanne Carter and Donna Capone-Young 6 under at the end of 4 holes. And don't forget Nancy Lopez is the defending champion. She shot a 65 there last year.
Tommy John trying to pick up the pace, trying to pitch a little faster. Fouled off out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're going to give you that Olympic address again. Remember, it's tax deductible. Send your contribution to the U.S. Olympics. Post Office Box 1980C, Cathedral Station, Boston, Massachusetts. Zip code 02118. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees came up with 2 in the second. Home run by Chambliss. Came up with 3 more in the third. Kansas City with all 3 of their runs in the fourth. Home run by Porter.
That was a pretty good pitch. You saw Munson just put down 2 and then go to the outside part of the plate. He's going to try to go outside and hope that Washington gave up on the pitch and it would have kept the corner.
A catcher in Munson, or Yeager, when he was catching John over the Dodgers, sit on the outside corner. They sit there and he'll, as the players nowadays say, paint the outside corner with that sinker. And then as the player steps in a little bit more to the right hitter, Tommy John will go 6 inches more outside. Then he'll move you back with a slider or fastball in tight. He's outside again. Hit to right field. So UL Washington battles Tommy John. He's on first base. And that brings up Amos Otis. 5-3. The Yankees lead. Otis is lined to center field. Single to left, and he scored a run back in the fourth. He wants to look at the ball. I don't know if Tommy John would be easy for a catcher to catch, but, you know, he usually is around that target.
Oh,
it's got to be tough with the way that ball sinks. He doesn't throw that hard, but you set up outside, and he's going to be near that glove.
I don't say it's not going to hurt your hand, because I'm sure he throws a heavy ball with that sinker, but he would be easy to catch. The guys that kill you is when they make you feel like a yo-yo. You're up and down, or a gopher. You're in the ground all day digging them out.
Ground ball off the bat of Otis. Dent flips to Randolph, so Tommy John pitches out of it. After 5 here in Kansas City, the Yankees lead over the Royals 5-3.
Meet the only stealer with a tougher body than mine.
You're looking at one stealer that can dish it up, and one stealer that can take it.
Uniroyal presents the Steeler Radial. It's built tough with 2 steel belts, and it's tough to beat when you look at its price, from about $45.
When it comes to keeping his feet, there's only one stealer I can't beat.
The Uniroyal Steeler. You want a tough tire at a price that's fair? You want Uniroyal there.
Doesn't come off.
This thick Rise lather holds so strong, these men can't even shake it off.
I can't even throw it off. Nothing is happening.
This Rise lather holds strong to your finger, just as it holds to every whisker in your beard. Rise is thicker than the leaning foam. Rise keeps working hard, so your beard comes off easy.
This is incredible.
Rise holds so strong, your beard comes off easy.
On Sports World, top women gymnasts compete in the USGF Nationals. Then it's Friendship Cup weightlifting, plus the 200th running of the English Derby, and the fittest of them all, tomorrow.
Tomorrow on Sports World, 4:30 to 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 1:30 to 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. In Los Angeles, 4 to 5:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the USGF National Gymnastics Championships, women's individuals competition. America's top Olympic hopefuls compete in the individual finals in Dayton, Ohio. Among the gymnasts you see, Marcia Frederick. You might remember that name from last year, the only U.S. woman to win a gold medal at the World Gymnastics Championships. Last year in the same competition, a perfect 10 score on the uneven bars. Other participants, Leslie Pfeiffer, Tracy Talavera, and Kathy Johnson, last year's U.S. all-around champion. And many consider Kathy Johnson to be America's best bet for a medal in Moscow. NBC will be there in the summer of 1980. It's just next year, isn't it?
That's when it is.
Whew. 6th inning. Larry Gura will pitch to Darrell Jones, Chris Chambliss, and then Roy White. 5-3, the Yankees lead over the Royals. Each team has 6 base hits. The Royals have not played well defensively, only 1 error. They could have had more. They have not helped Gura out. He might have been pitching one of those kind of games now. He's leading 3-1 or 3-2 with a little bit of support behind him. 1 strike on Jones. Watson sets up outside corner.
You know, that shot we just had of center field, Tony, it doesn't look like Jones can cover the outside part of the plate because he's got a closed stance when he starts, but when the pitcher just starts to deliver the ball, watch his left foot bail out.
Starts with a closed stance, as Joe said. Now he's setting up outside. He wants them to go with a bad pitch, and Gura hits the target. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Usually when a fella has an open stance, it looks like he's looking for that pitch inside, but Jones, he's bailing.
Ted Hendry, the home plate umpire. He pulled the string. It's fouled off out of play.
Watch his left foot. Now, there's closed, and he's way out here. That ball inside, he can handle it, but it'll have to even be off the strike zone. Off the plate.
Pretty much of a spray hitter, Darrell Jones. Does not have a whole lot of power. Gura with a breaking ball gets Jones for the first out. Now it'll bring up Chambliss.
Gura nibbling. He got the ball out of the strike zone. It's low. Breaking ball. Good pitch.
That's that tough breaking ball, left-handed and right-handed hitter. Tough to handle. Starts at your fifth and just dives down. Down and in. Chambliss with a home run. Back in the second, a 2-run home run. A walk in the fourth. He stole second base. 1 ball. Remember the name Tommy Hendrick. We both know him, and they always, well, they call him old reliable. You'd have to put that same kind of tag on this guy.
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
Chambliss, year in, year out, never says a word, drives in his 80 to 100 runs. Hits 280 to 300. Good breaking ball again. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Phil Pepe says that Roy White and Chris Chambliss are really the spirit of this Yankee ball club. Methodical, day in and day out, do you that good job.
5-3, the Yankees lead. Yankees in 1979, you can see what they have done against left-handed pitching. That's why they see so many. 9 wins, 13 losses, below 500. Splittorff was scheduled to pitch tomorrow for Kansas City. That would make 2 of 3 games a left-hander for the Royals, but he went home with the flu today. Doesn't look like he's going to make it. What they've done against right-handed pitching. 2-2. He gets him on a good breaking ball. So there are 2 outs. Look like a slider, Joe. Something breaking.
It's in a good spot, Tony. There's the target low, and if he doesn't hit it, he comes awful close to it. I mean, it was a ball, and even if he hits it, he just couldn't handle. Look at that. Great pitch.
The old high and tight, low and away routine.
Oh,
go right to the Hall of Fame.
On the express.
Fastball in. Roy White fouls this out of play. There are very few hitters. Only the great ones can cover the entire plate against controlled pitchers. They might guess areas, try and look outside, inside, but if a pitcher can come up and in, back the hitter off, go down low and away, mix up his pitches, he can be successful. 2 strikes very quickly on Roy White. Gura back in a groove. Had a rough 3rd inning. One ball, 2 strikes. White has flied out and popped out so far in this ball game. Outside, then he comes in.
2 good pitches and 2 good shots. 2 strikes. He wants it to happen right here. Here's his pitch of decision. He set it up.
He just missed with a breaking ball. The count goes 3-2 on Roy White.
Real cat and mouse game going on here. Good pitching, good hitter.
Whitey Herzog stuck with Gura through 2 rough innings. He threw him a breaking ball, 3-2, that caught Roy White looking. What a super pitch. So Gura strikes out 2, all 3, strikes out the side. We'll go to the last of the 6th. It's the Yankees 5, the Royals 3.
Of the Philadelphia Phillies.
That's right. And what kind of aftershave are you using these days?
I'm an Aqua Velva man, Joe.
Oh, that's right. A man wants to smell like a man.
Yeah, Aqua Velva's got a great clean fragrance. And it's cool and refreshing, too. And one more thing.
What's that?
There's something about an Aqua Velva man.
Want high gas mileage? Come to Chrysler. Chrysler Corporation is #1 in gas mileage of the big 3. Of all the vans with optional V8s and automatic transmissions, Dodge B100 has the highest EPA estimated mileage. Of all conventional pickups with optional V8s and automatic transmissions, Dodge D100 has the highest EPA estimated gas mileage. Want a van or pickup with high gas mileage? Come to Dodge. Chrysler is #1 in gas mileage of the big 3.
State Farm Agent Ray Bernard.
As I say, the only thing we sell is service. The least thing I can give is to be nice along with that service. And when it gets to where I can't be just as nice to someone when they come in with a problem or with a claim as when they come in to buy insurance, then I better get out of the business or take a few days off.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Wrigley Field. We're in the bottom of the 5th as Dennis Lamp, the pitcher, hitting in the number 9 spot. On a full count, a single up the middle. He's at first. Ivan De Jesus with a count of 2-0, and the Dodgers looking for the bunt. The ball game here tied at 3-3. Here is the bunt, and it is perfect. Only play is at first, and Lamp moves to second. So now with a runner in scoring position.
This bunt was laid right where you want it, down the first base line. The first baseman must hold the runner on. He cannot leave the bag, whereas the third baseman will be charging down. So you want to bunt it to first, where your opponent does not have a defensive player, and it was an excellent bunt.
So with Lamp in scoring position, the hitter will be Ted Sizemore. In the bottom of the 1st, he walked on a 3-1 pitch, and he ended up scoring as Kingman got the RBI. In the 3rd, he singled and was cut down in a double play.
That's been mentioned before, but the first 3 Cub batters are all ex-Dodgers. Ivan De Jesus, Ted Sizemore, and Bill Buckner. There's nothing they would like better than to beat their ex-teammates. In fact, Billy Buckner, who's on deck, is hitting almost 400 against the Dodgers over the last 2 seasons.
Fly ball right field. Lamp will tag. He does not go. 2 away. And here is Bill Buckner, 1 for 2. He singled in the 1st, and he was aboard when Jerry Martin got 2 RBI. A fly ball to right the last time up. Sutcliffe fires, and it's popped up. Baker comes in and makes the play. And now part of the network will go back to Kansas City for that ball game, and the rest of you will stay with us here at Wrigley Field.
All right, Joe Garagiola, Tony Kubek back in Kansas City. There's your score. Yankees 5, Royals 3. George Brett leading off the 6th for Kansas City. Just hit a 2-ball, 2-strike pitch for a single to center field. Here it is. Mickey Rivers on this slippery surface keeps the ball from going in the gap. Nice play by Rivers. Gets the ball in very quickly to hold Brett to a single.
Lou Piniella has come in from right field. Appears to be all right, but he's walking in. He's
sunglasses, I believe, Joe. The sun, it has stopped raining here now, and the sun is beginning to peep through. So he wants some glasses.
Boy, that always reminds me of a time Billy Southworth managing the Cardinals, and an outfielder lost the ball in the sun, 2-base hit, called time, came in to get the glasses, and Billy had the case and said, it's going to cost you $500 for these glasses.
Uh-huh. The Yankees very quickly with the bullpen starting to throw. Ray Burris, a right-hander, and Jim Cott, a left-hander. 5-3, the Yankees over the Royal, the last of the 6th. Burris on your left. Al Cowens, 2 for 2 in the ball game. He has scored a run. A couple of home runs in the game. 2-run home run by Chambliss, a 2-run home run by Darrell Porter. See, Cowens' batting helmet has the normal flap, and then there's an extension that we don't see too well because it is a plastic that is attached, and you can see right through it. Cover that area of the jaw. He had a broken jaw. He had that chin wired. Now you get a little chance to see it, protecting that area. 1 ball, no strikes. 1. Yankee infield, a double play down. Billy Randolph yesterday really had a tough time on this artificial surface. There's the protective attachment to Cowens' helmet. 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike on Al Cowens. Brett's at first base. John, the kind of guy that he likes to get hitters to swing at that pitch that starts about mid-thigh, and by the time you commit yourself and go after it, the ball's pretty close to your ankles. Cowan's trying to go with him in right field, hits it out of play, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. George Brett at first base, being held by Chris Chambliss. See where Munson sets up. A 2-2 pitch. I can't believe he'll stick with that sinker ball. Brett at first. There goes Brett. Dennis covering, but the ball's fouled out of play. So Herzog down 2 runs. Starts Brett. Did you say he's from the old school, that guy right there?
Oh, boy. He's known, or he'd be in that category that used to be called hard rock. He's a rawhide, George Brett.
He dives in the dugouts, into the stands. He can steal your base, hit all around, pull the ball. He's holding this time. Tommy John goes inside. Now the count will go 3 balls, 2 strikes. Let's see if Brett will be on the move. I've got to believe that Tommy John, who is not a strikeout pitcher, that Herzog will start him.
Here's that situation where one pitch is such a big, big play. It could be a strike him out, throw him out, or it could be a first and third. He'll be running.
John has averaged just 3 strikeouts per 9 innings this year. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You talk about a big pitch in the ball game. Tying run is at the batter's box right now.
Burris and Cott continue to throw for the Yankees. Brett's off. Fouled off by Cowens.
May have chased a bad ball.
That ball is so close to right around the knee level, Joe. It's so difficult for that hitter to lay off. So Tommy John, even though there are no outs, 3 and 2, he's going to make Cowens hit his pitch. He is not going to give in to the hitter.
The cliche regarding the good pitcher, you just don't give in to him. You challenge him.
10 wins, 1 loss. If you wonder where that loss came, there it is, running again, fly ball, right center field. Piniella, the easy play. Brett will have to retreat. The only loss for John this season was to Cleveland. He had won 9 games in a row, and then Cleveland beat him 8-4. May 26th. Now it'll bring up Darrell Porter, who caught a breaking ball in the 4th for a home run. Got the Royals back in this ball game. They still trail by 2.
Now, if you were Porter and you hit a home run off a curveball, would you be looking for a fastball?
I think off John, you always got to look for something down. Even if you're looking breaking ball, he goes with a breaking ball and he hits Porter. So Porter will be on base. Curveball that hits him right in the rump.
I love that. They boo, and he threw a roundhouse curveball that I'm sure if it had been thrown against a window pane, it wouldn't have gone ping. Here comes Bob Lemon out of the dugout. He wants to talk to John. That curveball didn't even rotate. It just started out and it squibbed.
He looked like he dropped down a little bit more sidearm than he's been throwing and tried to give him the old high school roundhouse curve. Lemon wants to know now. We don't know if John's ankle is bothering him when he twisted a little bit. The trainers looked it over. Gene Monahan very hard. Yeah, he's going to go to the right-hander. It looks like Ray Burris. And that man right there with the glasses, Bob Lemon, 9 years ago today, became the manager of the Kansas City Ball Club. He replaced Charlie Metro. He has just sent out the call to his bullpen to get Ray Burris. With 2 men on and 1 out here for Kansas City. Here comes Burris. They got him from the Cubs. So John will leave. And although he cannot lose this ball game, he might not get the win. Right now with the score 5-3, the Yankees over the Royals. We're going to leave you, but we'll be right back after this message.
Every weekend, you go to war against an army of grass and weeds. To win the battle, you need the ultimate weapon, a Weed Eater brand trimmer. It mows, trims, and edges quickly and safely with nylon line. And our tap-and-go head extends the cutting line with a simple tap. So look for the Weed Eater brand, the ultimate weapon for people with better things to do than their lawn. See the yellow pages or call toll-free for your nearest Weed Eater dealer.
Whoa! Look at there! Monroe's giving away $10. Just go to any participating dealer before June 30, make your best deal on 4 Radial-Matic or Monroe Magnum 60 shocks, and he'll give you $10. Let's get some and celebrate. Yes, sir, that's quite a deal.
That'll be $10.
Sticks. Better get 4 more shocks.
Sold out again.
The new improved Gillette Track 2, please.
Yeah, say, who needs improved when these twin blades will do?
Track 2 has micro-smooth edges. Makes the blade smoother than ever.
Shave better than these?
Better, safer, smoother, and comfortable.
Comfort, schmumfort, you don't have the... But...
Do you have the new improved Gillette Track 2?
Improved Track 2. Improved Track 2.
The new improved Gillette Track 2. Micro-smooth edges make it a better shave.
On Sports Sunday, live final round coverage of the LPGA Championship. Then it's Sports World with women's gymnastics, Friendship Cup weightlifting, the English Derby, and more tomorrow.
We're back in Kansas City. We're in the last of the 6th. The Yankees lead 5-3, but the Royals are threatening with 2 men on. Wathan, the hitter. Ray Burris, the replacement for Tommy John. 1 strike. 6th game that Burris has been in for the Yankees. Pitched 10 in the 3rd innings, 1-1 record.
Tony, going to take a look at the ball. Gives me a chance to give an American League score here. The Red Sox 7, Minnesota nothing in the bottom of the 6th. And for the Red Sox, their big guys are really hitting. Yastrzemski, the 2-run homer, is 10th in the 1st. Fisk, his 1st home run in the 3rd. Nobody on. Rice is 12th and 5th with 1 on. And Lynn hit his 16th.
1 strike pitch to Wathan. 1-1. You can tell when the Red Sox are playing up in Fenway, can't you? They start hitting again.
Well, they're hitting them.
Wathan is grounded out and singled. Burris just misses. 2 balls, 1 strike. Brett's at second, Porter's at first. There are times when you get into this situation where you might consider a left-handed pinch hitter, Pete Lecoq, for instance, but Darrell Porter's DHing today. He is the other Royals catcher. So if he would pinch hit for Wathan, he would leave the game, and that would mean Porter would have to catch and you lose your DH. The pitcher would have to hit. Right now, we're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
WDAF TV4, Kansas City, Missouri.
Ray Burris, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out on John Wathan. Burris trying to pitch out of the hole with Brett down at second. The tying run, Porter at first base. Oh, he just missed outside. Munson held about a long time for home plate umpire Ted Hendry. Thought he had it. Now it's 3-2, 1 out. You start Brett and Porter. Porter not looking at the coach. He's looking at Brett to see if Brett's going to give him some kind of sign that he's on the move. Porter will be watching him. Hiller flashed the signs. He's the 3rd base coach. I gotta believe they're gonna go. They're moving. Fouled off, out of play.
And that fellow on first who's trailing the play, in this case Porter, he really has to hustle when the fellow on second, Brett, takes off. Sometimes when you trail that play, the fellow on second gets such a big lead, you don't have a shot for him, that some catchers will throw down to second base and get the other guy just lollygogging into second base.
You think the tendency would be more even with 1 out? You know, you don't have to get the lead runner because then you've got 2 if you get the guy at second. Because Porter's the slower runner of the 2. There are the leads. Brett at second, Porter at first. 3-2 pitch once again to Wathan from Ray Burris. They're moving again. Fouled off.
I'll tell you what's embarrassing is when you're the guy on first base and they give the guy the second steal sign and tell you to stay.
Oh, that never happened to you.
No, certainly didn't, Tony.
But the reason, even though Hiller might be flashing the steal sign to Brett at second, he may not get a good jump. He may fall. If at first base you take off and the guy at second does not go, it can be embarrassing if you're both standing at second base. As a runner at first base, you are watching the lead runner. Make sure that he goes. Drill, right center field. Brett will score. Porter will go to third base. The ball gets by Rivers. Here comes Porter. The game is all tied up. Wathan is charging for third. He's got a triple. 5 apiece.
As Brett breaks, there goes Porter. And Waltham hits the ball in the right center field, plugs the gap, and once again, this is a good doubles and triples ballpark because it scoots as it hits the artificial surface, especially on a day like today when it's a bit wet. And Brett waved all the way in, and following the play, Porter, he came all the way around.
32 triples for the Kansas City Royals. That is tops in the American League. Now the Yankee infield with a 5-apiece ball game have come up to try and cut the runner down. Patek, a good bunter. He is fouled out and struck out. He's looking for a fly ball. Nice stop by Munson. He saved a run.
Oh, man, that looked like a Stanley Cup play right there. He just backhanded that ball and saved him his ball club a run. Beautiful play.
Munson has super quickness. All you got to do is get him on a handball court to find that out. I tried it. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Patek facing Burris, pitching from the stretch. 2-0. Chuck Hiller to the third base coach.
When a catcher makes a play like that, it gives that pitcher a little more confidence to keep that ball down. They have to get a ground ball here or a strikeout.
2 ball, no strike pitch. Hit with the right field corner, but it'll slice foul out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, I gotta believe, Tony, if they had any ideas about a squeeze play, this would be the pitch right here.
You bet.
Now, if you're going to pitch out and Munson's really in the jackpot, he can't really pitch out, would you knock him down or pitch away from him?
A right-handed hitter, ordinarily, you'd throw right at the hitter, make him get down, and then you're in position to make a tag. Patek fouls another one off to right field out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tommy John had the Kansas City Royals 5-0. And the Royals came up with 3 in the 4th, the Porter home run. They have scored 2 more in the 6th. Little pop-up, might be trouble. Walton's tagging up. Randolph playing, it comes in. No chance for a play. Patek's going to try for second base. Here comes Rivers' throw. Patek is out, but Walton scores, making it 6-5. The dangers of playing the infield in right there showed very well, as Randolph could not get back in time. Patek challenging the arm of Piniella.
Mickey Rivers made a fine play, backing it up, and he really, when he gets the ball, he sizes up the plate at Patek. A bit on this side. Now he's in no man's land, and he's limping off. He's out by a good 15, 20 feet, and Patek is limping off, being helped by the coach. It's his right leg that he's grabbing as he walks off.
Right hamstring area. If he did it when he slid, if he caught his spikes, or if he pulled it on the way. But he did a job. He got Walton home on a 2-ball, 2-strike pitch to give the Royals a 6-5 lead. Battled off a good pitch, high and tight. There's Whitey Herzog. Patek has had his injury problems this year. In spring training, he had a bad lower back problem. Then he injured his throwing shoulder. Getting the congratulations of Watson and Gura. There are 2 outs, but the Royals now have the lead. And it's Todd Cruz facing Burris. Two balls, no strikes to Cruz. Cruz has grounded out twice. The Royals have been scoring runs this year, even though they don't have a lot of power. Cruz lofts this one to center field. Rivers with the glasses down. Burris retires the side, but not before the Royals come up with another 3-run inning. They now have the lead 6-5 here in Royal Stadium. And we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
On Little House on the Prairie.
Mary's getting married.
But Mary has serious doubts that could spoil her future happiness. Little House on the Prairie, Monday.
A lot of banks have new automatic transfer accounts, and they're all the same, right? Wrong. Compare Commerce Bank's combination account with the others, and you'll see some big differences. Savings and loans don't even offer this new service. Other banks have transaction charges. Commerce doesn't. And compare monthly service charges. As a rule, Commerce charges less. Why do we want you to compare?
because a bottom-line comparison of Commerce Bank's combination account puts it on top.
Hi, Dave Sentry here to show you a real Sentry gift idea for Dad. The Rockwell 7 1/4-inch double-insulated 1.5 horsepower circular saw. The rugged Rockwell saw is ball bearing constructed, has a large wraparound base, and aluminum blade guards for extra safety. This Rockwell saw is an ideal gift for Dad. It's Sentry sale priced at only $34.99 at these and other participating Sentry retailers.
And tell them Dave sent you.
Gas. Its price keeps jumping higher and higher. Just when we need it, Datsun saves again with 16 new models. 16 that run on low-price regular gas. Choose your Datsun and save your money.
Put your money in the bank, not in the tank. Buy a Datsun. Datsun, we are driven.
To save you money.
Down Home Country Entertainment, today at 6.